So this next one's going to be fun. I've had it out with, Hebrew Israelites. I'd love to have a conversation about the whole race thing. How are Esau and Jacob different races when they came from the same dad? How is race an actual thing when we can't prove it genetically? How does red mean white? Like there are a lot of basic questions. I was gonna say philosophical. There are a lot of basic questions I have for Hebrew Israelites that I don't think they can answer. They haven't been able to answer it. They kind of change terms. Like there's actually a word for white in the Bible. And when it tells that Jesus' hair is white as wool, it uses the word. It uses the word white. Leprosy, it uses the word white. Esau, it uses the word red. And some people say, well, red, rednecks. I'm like, how did a child get a redneck in the womb? When was he around the sun? This granted, it may not be everybody's explanation, but red does not mean white. Red means red. So, and red is not a literal thing. If red is metaphorically white somehow, how do we get that red equals white? It doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, unless you're saying he had red hair, so he was a ginger, but what does it say about his skin color? You guys are adding stuff into the Bible and you're not getting questioned about it enough. And you just move on to these verses and then we don't have to justify it. You just move on and we're just like letting it go, letting you lead us all across the Bible when it's like, wait a minute, what is race? Race was a term used in the 1700s. And I'm going to keep saying this till the cows come home. Carolus, I don't know how you say his name, Carolus Linnaeus, and it doesn't matter because I don't have to put respect on a name like that that promotes racism. Carolus Linnaeus, in his 1735 work, Systema Naturae. I don't know how you say that. The Swedish naturalist, he believed it. He was a naturalist, which is crazy. Hebrew Israelites get their foundation from someone that doesn't believe in God, and that was a racist. This is how they've used this to justify slavery, justify racism, justify calling a black man 3/5 of a human. The same term race that Hebrew Israelites use as the foundation of their whole entire religion. They talk about us having Christianity, saying that we get our religion from the white man. We have a whitewashed version of Christianity. How do we have a whitewashed version of Christianity when you get your whole foundation definition of the term race from the master, from the white man, the one that wanted to justify racism and slavery? Races are not real. Please show me genetically how races are a real thing. Don't show me somebody that looks like this. Show me somebody that you can say, hey, his nose is this size. That's the size nose that a black person usually has. Please show me that, because when I tell you my friend doesn't have that type of nose and he's black, are you going to say he's not black anymore? Oh, no, well, it's about the color of his skin. So this albino guy that's in your tribe, he's not black because his skin is white. But yeah, let's get into this exciting video. And I'm always willing to have a discussion with someone. So please feel free to hit me up on Instagram and let's schedule a discussion. Now, the one thing about, like, I've heard of a lot of Cliff stuff, and I don't know where exactly I disagree with him on. I think he believes in the Trinity. I am close to that belief, but I'm oneness. And some people will say oneness is nothing like the Trinity. It gets a little dicey. So I'm always willing to have that conversation as well too. I don't look at Trinitarians like they're dumb or, ignorant or heretics. That's how they look at us. I just look at them as they're part of the community trying to figure out this mysterious being called God. I'm just saying, I don't use the word Trinity. I'd rather use the word Godhead because it's in the Bible. And I understand the context of the Trinity if is in the Bible, but the word is not. And I get that argument. I'm just saying, I don't think the context is in there. But I'm not saying, again, I know people are going to get so mad and think that you're not a Christian. I have to unsubscribe from your channel because you don't believe in the Holy Sacred Trinity. And I'm not bashing what you guys believe, but I'm just saying you're sending me to hell for not understanding a non-understandable, mysterious being like God. Because whenever I try to get you to explain the Trinity without using philosophy, we always end up there, which I don't have a problem with. But I'm just saying, like, I don't accept that I don't believe in the Trinity. I believe it's a different way. And even Trinitarians, they're going to disagree on how they view the Trinity. Who's right? I don't know. Because I've talked to a few of them, they have different views. But I'm not trying to get into that right now. So I think me and Cliff and me and Trinitarians agree on 85% of things. I don't really like too much to focus on the 15% that we disagree. But if you see my channel, you can tell I have no problem disagreeing. But let's get into this. So this is Cliff and Stuart Neckel. I don't know who that is. Heated debate versus Black Hebrew Israelites. This is going to be interesting. And I know he plays a lot of games. The host, what's the host name? Matan Evan. With his voice, I don't know what that's about, but I'm excited to see what's going on here. Let's see what this is about.
We have a special episode, a Christmas special. It's going to be Cliff and Stuart Netchell versus 3 Black Israelites. First, welcome Captain Baba Jamic and his friend.
He's going to have a problem with that because they don't like to be called Black Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, he just called them Black Israelites. That's funny.
I don't know, Professor Slamgo, along with Commander Burt.
Why's the white man always in the way? Always.
That's disrespectful. That's a nice decoration. And for today's co-host, we have my manager, Vira Flooring.
Where's he sitting?
Just know that white man, Santa Claus, has a lot more money.
You see what I'm saying? Who is this dude? He's... What race is he? Y'all have to make sense of this for me, bro. What are we talking about? Is this guy white, black, mixed? Like, what? Y'all can just accept anybody as a black person? What are y'all saying, bro? He looked like Esau, don't he? Don't he? Because y'all's description of Esau, red hair, white man. This is Esau, ain't it? Come on, bro. What are y'all saying?
Than you.
Break this down for me.
Okay, so first we will let Cliff and Stuart introduce themselves, and then we will let Captain Tezazoyak make his introduction along with his sidekick, Yup, You Right.
You can just
So
call
if
me
you
the
guys want to
black.
introduce yourselves real quick.
What do you want to know about us, Don?
Just, I guess, obviously, this is sort of a Christian versus Israelite episode. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves in case anybody doesn't know you all, that one, maybe what you guys believe in.
Okay. I am Cliff Connectley, and I'm a follower of Jesus Christ because the historical evidence of the way Jesus lived, in other words, the way he treated people. Secondly, because of what he taught ethically.
Right.
Thirdly, because of the way he died, loving and forgiving his enemies. And fourthly, because of his resurrection from the dead. That's why I'm convinced that Jesus is reliable, and it's
Right.
wise to put your trust in him.
We speak on college campuses.
They're like, I came for the debate. I came for the conversation. They have no idea. They finna have a whole... well, he's probably been on there before, I think, but I don't know. Some people be on there thinking, we finna have a whole conversation. Like, this finna be crazy. And then they get to this and it's all trolling and junk. They're probably like, can somebody tell me what this star is about? What this has to do with Christianity? Is it the Star of David or something? I'll figure that out later.
Across the country and do a lot of debating on this kind of stuff. A lot of politically incorrect debating like you. Yeah.
So I think we're on the same page. I don't know. I'll let them introduce for themselves. I think they probably have sort of a similar position on that. They just care to make it clear that Jesus is black or something.
I'm Captain Tazaryak of ISUBK. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, Shalom, what's going on? I'm Captain Katazai, ISUPK, and the Commanding General.
The Santa
Yana.
kicker. He's the Santa kicker.
Yeah.
Official
You
Santa
guys just
kicker.
keep changing your names, huh?
No, we don't change the names. It's the name.
Wait, my question is, where do these names come from? I'm not like ridiculing them. Any Hebrew Israelite that's watching, it's just funny. He said, "You guys keep changing your names." Like I pick in my own religion. You know, if someone says something about Pentecostals, like, why do you guys always like jibber jabber? Like it's funny. I'm gonna laugh, even though I know it's Holy Spirit. speaking in tongues. So it's nothing like a shot, but it's just funny. He says, you guys always change your name. And that's something I wonder, like, what is the name thing? Yaha, Shuasha, Yahi. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's certain names that Hebrew Israelites give themselves and say, some godly name. So maybe someone in the comments that's Hebrew Israelite can just break that down for me. Cause, I've never like even thought about questioning it. So it's just a question. It's like a genuine question. Like, where does that come from? But it's just say it. Where do you get this from? You guys always change your names. It's like, all right. That was funny. This guy's crazy.
That's the name.
That's Commander Bert.
What's the name, Commander Bert? Yup, you right. You right.
Y'all might have recognized him from CB4.
Yeah. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all.
And see, one thing I realized, like, people are people. I look at everybody as like a person. I don't look at them as like an enemy from the outside camp, because if I'm trying to get to the truth, I need to be able to communicate with you. So if the worst way to communicate with somebody is to look at them like an enemy, like I have to come up and if you see Hebrew Israelites at the stands and they're out on the street corners and they're preaching the word, the worst thing to do is to think, I have to come against them. I have to win. I have to shut them down by the word of God. Like, let that mentality go and be their friend, because that's the way to win people. If they're wrong, you can be their friend and they'll respect you for it and you can have a discussion. And I haven't won like a Hebrew Israelite over. This is kind of a new thing I've been really studying into, but I have won other people that, have maybe they don't believe in God or something like that. And I'm just like, hey, you want to do something, bro? You want to, go chill or whatever? Like, I'm just chilling with them. So they're real people. They're regular people. We can't look at them like robotic, things that are evil or they're trying to manipulate us. Like, no, they're just people and they pick up other views just like other people do. So like they can laugh and stuff, and that's cool.
And I'm bliggity black. That's him. He's gonna be great.
So I guess
he's on the right side.
Yeah, I mean he's an Israelite. So this is a little bit of a festive episode. This is the Christmas special.
You black?
I guess for you guys it's like Kwanzaa or something.
He's not an Israelite.
Are they debating Christmas? That's a good discussion.
Yeah, so I guess maybe you want to start with Christmas. Tell everybody, because I don't know if they celebrate that. You guys
Christmas?
Kwanzaa.
Nah, we don't celebrate Kwanzaa.
Here we go.
Why we gotta celebrate Kwanzaa?
Because you guys are from Africa.
Kwanzaa wasn't even started by an African. It was a black man in Chicago.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Africans. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Sorry, for Matan even, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Matan even, to be like, what, 17 or something? I forgot how old he is. He's got a lot of, he's got a good amount of knowledge on these things. It's very interesting. He knows like what questions to ask, and he's trolling a lot of times, but he's like, some of those questions he's asking, they're actually pretty decent questions that get to the point. Like, yeah, pretty solid, man. And sometimes you can get to that if you're kind of like, you're indifferent. The indifference helps you navigate tough conversations because you're not trying to win an argument. So that's an advantage he has. So learn the indifference so that you don't get manipulated by your own emotions when you're having these conversations.
People. Yep, you right. See that? Yep, you right. He chimed in. Listen, he felt that in his soul. Yeah, he don't want to be African either. So. Neither do I.
Yeah, so I guess I'll leave it to you guys now. About Christmas, I guess. Right. Thoughts on it?
Thoughts on Christmas?
Yes.
Well, Jesus was not born on December 25th. That was a holiday that was celebrated in different cultures, and it was embraced by Christians. But the point of Christmas is that the supernatural God chose to become a human being, his name, Jesus, and he lived a sinless life. He taught amazing teachings. He died on a cross, and he rose from the dead.
Hey,
and we celebrate his birth.
Can I ask a
God
question?
became a human being.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You said the supreme God chose to be a man.
The supernatural God chose to become a man. Yes, sir.
So God died.
God in human form as a man.
So what I was saying was that's another issue I have with the Trinity, right? I'm not a Unitarian. I believe Jesus is God, but I'm a oneness. And people are gonna be mad at that. Great, but I'm just saying, like, we can't have a discussion with Hebrew Israelites or any religion, because when we do, they're always going to bring up the Trinity. So this is the thing. This is the thing, guys, and I'm helping you out here. The Trinity is something that is mysterious. If it's real, it's something mysterious that can't really be explained, right? Because it's a mysterious thing for Jesus to not be the Father, but also not be able to be separate from the Father. Any other area, if that were a thing, that would be a contradiction. But because God is so powerful, we say he can perform that, what would be a logical contradiction. He's the only one that can do it because he's a supernatural being. People are not going to understand that are just hearing about the Trinity. So it would be best to say, let's table this discussion for another time, because we're never going to be able to get to the discussions of what if is there a superior race of people? Is race a thing? Is Christmas pagan? Like, is Jesus God? Like, when you're explaining to an atheist that God is real, you don't jump to the Christian God to explain that God is real. Like, you could jump to the if you're going to go to the prophecy route, Jesus fulfilled the prophecy. He raised from the dead, and historians agree with it. There was a woman that found him at the tomb. They probably would never lie and give women the credit for doing that back then, because women were more oppressed. I say more oppressed, like patriarchy, whatever you want to call it. But nobody's gonna lie and create a story and say the women found Jesus first. That's there's other thing, but like, if you're gonna go that route and say, well, Jesus rose from the dead after 3 days, and that is some type of proof that he's God. But other than that, there's no reason to jump to, let's prove that Jesus is real before we prove that God is real. Like, if you're going to pray for somebody, let's pray that you get a relationship with Jesus. That's the proof, ultimate proof. Great. But Jesus, the belief in Jesus comes after, okay, is God real? Now that you believe in God, let me tell you which God to believe in. Is there a possibility there could be a God? Can you get that grasp of, okay, now you've understood God, you have a relationship with God. His name is Jesus, right? That's step 2. Which God? So step 3, when we're talking about the Trinity, do we have to break down the Trinity the whole time? Can we just say, I'm not trying to prove all the persons. Let's just stick to one thing, that Jesus is God. We can do the persons thing. That takes too long, and it's illogical in every other instance. So if we do talk about the persons, we're just going to go around in a circle, because they're not going to be able to get it. It's like, and I don't agree with the Trinity, but I'm just saying, if it were true, they're not going to be able to grasp it, because it's the reason they can't grasp it is because it would be illogical. There's no other place that the word not is used that way. Jesus is not the Father, which doesn't actually mean a separate type of not. It's a distinct type of not. There's no such thing as a distinct person type of not, or a distinct not, like you are not this in the same aspect. You're not separate from this. There's no other way. That ask ChatGPT or whatever you got to do, search it, give me an example of anything else that works that way. It doesn't, because God is a supernatural being that is outside of that type of logic. I don't agree with that, but I'm just saying, if we're going with the Trinity, that's how we would have to view that. They're not gonna be able to get it, bro. You have to get them past a bunch of philosophical hurdles to believe in the philosophical terminology of the Trinity. You can say it's biblical, but you can't read the Bible that way unless you understand it philosophically first. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, unless you pray that they get it. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Every time this comes up, I get so upset. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's move away from the Trinity conversation, because that is going to take that needs to be a whole separate conversation. And guys, if you can, include oneness people into that conversation more often. just for my sake at least, maybe not be for anybody else, but for me, I'd be like, I want somebody to cover oneness more because y'all just assume we're heretics and y'all don't want to have conversation with us. That's kind of lame. Anyways,
man died on a
God
cross.
died. So
God in human form.
God can die.
God limited himself and became a human being, and as a human being, he died.
It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible.
Oh, it says it all over the Bible.
Where does it say he limited himself into a human being?
First of all, Zechariah 12:10, for he was pierced, and it's talking about the Lord, L-O-R-D, capital L-O-R-D, the Lord was pierced. And let me just pull it up real quick. Sorry. Make sure I'm saying it right. Might be something else. Okay. And I will pour on the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. So the Lord is saying they shall look upon me whom they've pierced. What is piercing? Did they pierce me metaphorically? Like, it just says they pierced. So at least there's some type of verse we can go off of. You can assume it's metaphorical. You can say it's literal, but it's in there, and you can't tell me that I don't have a verse to back up what I'm saying. I mean, to prove that this is metaphorical is going to take some eisegesis. You're going to have to say, nope, because it was the son, it couldn't have been the father. But then it's like, that's the whole point I'm trying to make, that that is God. Sorry, because I know Trinitarians are listening. It is God, because in the beginning of the verse of the chapter 12, Zechariah 12, I'm not trying to spend too much time on this. Goodness, I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. Zechariah 12. The burden of the word of the Lord, L-O-R-D, capital L-O-R-D, for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretches forth the heavens and layeth the foundation of the earth and formeth the spirit within him. So then we get to verse 10, and this is talking about the Lord, L-O-R-D, will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. Why would God say that if he was not Jesus? But you can say I don't have a verse, but that's a verse. And now it's your job to disprove it, or you have to say, well, it could be true. You can't just outright deny it, though. Anyways. Does my background look real, by the way? Because it's not real. Anyways, let's get back to this.
Against chapter 2, have this attitude in yourselves, which was also in Christ Jesus, who, although he existed in the form of God, did not regard equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself,
I'm the same as
taking
that,
upon himself. No, you're not God, and I'm not God.
No, think about what you said. It said, have this attitude in you. Now, I asked you to show me where God did that. Paul said for us to have the same attitude as Christ, who thought it not robbery to be equal with God. So I should think like that.
You better learn to read in context, sir. You keep going through that passage, and it says he existed in the form of God and did not.
Cliff is so real, bro. He is hilarious. You better learn to read in context, sir. Only problem with that statement is now Tazariak is going to that just kind of turned it into like a charisma battle. You got to see when that happens. It's so funny, like when you see two people going back and forth with scripture, and I have to do it sometimes too. And it's not like I'm the debate guru, nothing like that. I'm just saying, when you're having discussion about scripture and religion and Bible, any conversation actually, It could be a debate about relationships. Like when some person believes this way, you believe that way. It can turn into a charisma battle, and it changes from we're trying to prove our points with scripture into we're trying to prove our points with our charisma. Like we're not just pointing out, like you use the logical fallacy. We're saying, like, I mean, and you have to use it sometimes, but it's just going to get interesting because I think Tazarek's probably going to turn this into like, which, Cliff started it, I guess. It's probably going to turn into some charisma battle. Like, oh, let me show you how you're not using context, sir. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Anyways.
Regard equality with God, anything to be grasped, but emptied himself, taking upon himself the form of a bondservant.
We can take that same mind state.
Yeah, but just because I think like Harvey Epstein or whatever the guy's name is,
I cannot
doesn't
be eternal.
mean that I am Harvey Epstein.
If you don't like Harvey Epstein, you be in jail too.
No, but that doesn't mean I act like him. That doesn't mean I act like him. I can think like him, but there's a difference between being. It also certainly doesn't make me him. I don't become
just like
person.
Trump when they show the pictures with him with.
I don't know what you're talking about. Point to them. It's 1-0 so far. I don't know what you're talking about, but you guys can continue. I just wanted to, because I'm going to give points throughout this debate along with the other moderator.
You messed up with that point, because that verse, just the last point on it, that verse says, "Let this mind be in you." So when it says, "Thought not robbery to be equal with God," that's the mind state we supposed to have.
We're supposed to follow that mindset, correct? But
that's right.
It's about Christ, who really was God, who humbled himself and became a human being. He's the eternal God.
Does Christ have a God?
No, he's
thought it not robbery to be equal with God. I got to think about this for a second. Thought it not robbery to be equal with God. With Gid. Thought it not robbery to be equal with God. King James Version, describing Jesus Christ's divine nature and voluntary humility. I mean, it's not saying the whole thing is us. Like, Jesus is setting an example. Even Jesus, who was God, can be humble enough to, well, even Jesus, who actually was God, can humble himself. How much the more should we who are not God humble ourselves? The God of the universe set an example. So God is that guy. Jesus is that guy, and he humbled himself. Which means, yeah, pride is a problem. Which means, yeah, you definitely got to humble yourself because Jesus did. That's the point. Get out of here, sucker.
the eternal God.
In John 21:25, Christ said, "I go to my Father and your Father, my God and your God." Christ said he has a God out of his own mouth. So how can he be God if he got a God?
Because he's God the Son, humbling himself, taking upon himself.
Hey, God,
man, if you're asking questions, you don't listen to the answer. What's going on?
I did listen.
No, you didn't. You cut me off. So what's going on?
So I'll do it again. Does Christ
listen, okay?
I listened to the first thing you said was Christ did not have a God. That's what you said. And then when I quoted the verse where he said he'd go to his Father and his God, then you said he's God the Son. I listened to you clearly.
Good. Now let me say it again so you can hear it more clearly.
Okay.
Jesus is the eternal God, God the Son, who humbled himself, as we looked at Philippians chapter 2. I quoted it for you. So he humbled himself and became a human being. As a human being, he died. As a human being, he ascended back to his Father in heaven. That's the mystery of the incarnation. He humbled himself and became a human being. Yes, sir.
I heard everything that you said.
Good.
You said God the Son.
Yes.
Is God the Son a title in the Bible? Or is the Son of God the title in the Bible?
That's used at times, yes. The Son.
I've never seen God the Son. I've only seen Son of God. So would you say that in heaven right now, is Jesus God in heaven right now?
Yes, sir. He sure is.
So what does Son of Man mean? You haven't seen Son of God. What is Son of Man?
Son of Man is worse.
Daniel chapter 7. That's the prediction of the Son of Man coming.
The Son of Man is worse because to be a son of man, you have to be the son of a man.
No, Son of Man
And so
contextually
Joseph, wait,
agreed
before,
across civilization. You finish your point, but
thank you.
I don't know where you're going.
Ezekiel is called Son of Man too. But before we get into the Son of Man argument, you said
I'm
in
a son
heaven,
of
He
a
was
man.
never. He
You
never
said
referred
in
to himself
heaven-
as the Son of Man.
you
Ezekiel.
said in heaven, Jesus is God. Is it the Father sitting on the throne or Jesus sitting on that throne?
Nobody's sitting on a throne. There's no throne. That's symbolic language.
That's
God
a
is
lie.
a spirit. And
That's
as
a
a
lie.
spirit, he's not sitting on a throne.
That's a lie.
No, it's not. It's
And
the truth.
In Daniel 7 and 9, it said the Ancient of Days had woolly hair and did sit. He sat on the throne.
Yeah, that's
and then the Son
symbolic
of Man
language.
was presented to him.
But I mean, take a look at his
God
hat
is
over there.
spirit.
He
He
clearly
doesn't have a
doesn't
body.
understand symbolic language. That's
Yes, I
why he
do.
dresses like
But
that.
in heaven, the Lamb presented before the man on the throne.
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Well, where is heaven?
I'm asking you a question.
I'm
In the
asking
book
you
of
one. Where is heaven?
Heaven is where the Lord resides.
Where is that?
In heaven. I just answered the question.
No, where is heaven was my question.
It's a dimension.
A
Some would
dimension.
say-
Okay.
There we go.
So
in
God
that-
is spirit. He's not a physical being.
He's not a spirit. He's a spirit. We're
Yeah.
all spirits, but we also have flesh. So if it says he sat on a throne, he has to have a physical entity.
No, he
to sit
doesn't
on
have
the
to.
throne. But don't run from the question.
I'm not
In
running.
Revelations, the 4th and 5th chapter,
Yeah.
it describes the throne that the Ancient of Days is sitting on. It describes the holies. It describes the beasts that scream his name, holy, holy, holy. They're screaming that to the man sitting on the throne. That is not Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the Lamb that opens the seal of the book. That's Jesus Christ. So the man sitting on the throne is God, is the Almighty. The one being presented before the throne is the Lamb. Body bag.
God is
You
spirit.
died.
God
You
is
died.
spirit. Jesus says
You
very
just
clear in the
died.
Bible.
You just
So
died.
this whole idea
What?
that he's sitting on a
He
throne
died.
is a
He's responding.
symbolic
He's clearly
picture.
alive.
It's a symbolic
Hey,
picture.
what he's
That's
saying
all
don't even line
apocalyptic
up with-
literature. You're literally taking apocalyptic literature and trying to make a point.
So you're
literally,
saying in heaven,
that is so
there's
silly. I've never heard that from
so
any
there's no
commentator
voices
ever.
screaming holy, holy, holy. You're saying that's a lie.
No, I'm saying it's symbolic.
Symbolic, right?
So there's no voice singing that.
Isaiah had a vision of God,
I
and
didn't
that
mention
vision was
Revelation by
symbolic.
John. I didn't mention Isaiah.
Oh, I really don't care, but the Bible talks because the Bible talks about it.
Say let God be true and every man a liar. You lying so far. I'm telling you.
But does he think a slain lamb is gonna give the scroll? Like, all of these things in Revelation are literal to Hebrew Israelites, I guess. Okay, I don't know.
No,
True.
sir, we disagree strongly.
You can
Very
disagree,
strongly.
don't mean it's true what you're disagreeing about.
And you
gotta
don't have to
actually-
call me a liar, and I don't have to call you a liar. We can be
No problem.
respectful,
If you wanna
okay?
Take the liar part away, that's fine.
Why don't
In
you take it away? Because
Revelation-
you're the one who used it.
Yeah, I don't care about stuff like that. Because I want people to be able to say what they gotta say, whether it's disrespectful or not. If they're cool, calm, and collect, I don't care what you say. Let's get to the point, you know. So if you say I'm a liar, then I'm just like, okay. In one instance, I get it. Like, as far as discussion purposes, moving the conversation forward, like, don't call me a liar because, like, we're not gonna get anywhere with that. Like, as far as you saying a word that's offensive, I couldn't care less if you said liar. But what I don't want is you to assume that I'm making this stuff up and I'm trying to deceive when I could just be wrong. Cause like, you're being fake, you're a liar. It's like, bro, get out of here with that. Like, you're not gonna, if I am a liar, I'm not gonna prove it to you. If I'm a liar, I'm gonna keep lying, right? So what's the point of even bringing it up? So I don't know if Cliff is just mad with the word or mad that it doesn't further the conversation, but I probably wouldn't have even cared that he said liar.
I just said I'll take it away.
Good.
Bro,
So
all you're
Revelation
doing is
4
debating from authority. All you're doing is debating from the Bible. I want to hear what you have to say about what is Son of Man contextually,
Yeah.
who was Jesus
Whoops.
Christ outside
Because he's gonna say, well, of course I have to debate from the Bible because the Bible is the authority. That's what he's gonna say.
of the Bible, and what are the claims he made, and
You
what
was
was
right.
heaven? I don't
You
think
was
you
right.
know an answer
You
to
was right.
any of these
He's like, he's like, did you hear that? So they don't want to use the Bible to talk about this.
outside of the Bible. I think you just like to quote from authority inside the Bible, And I don't know anybody who debates that way.
I mean,
Not a single person have we met who debates that
the
way.
people who debate that way are people who actually believe in what the Bible says. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the Bible is the ultimate
Okay,
authority.
so when Jesus says
I don't know. Hold on, but what I'm
when he
saying
says
is
he's the door.
What I'm saying is
that a couple pieces of plywood slapped together?
I don't need anything extra
Is that
biblically
a
to
couple
prove
pieces
my
of
faith.
plywood?
Now that's a good. See, I wouldn't have said the whole "you want to be authority and talk about inside the Bible instead of outside the Bible." I would have went straight to the statement, "Do you believe Jesus is a door?" and killed it there. I wouldn't have said you're arguing from inside the Bible and you don't want to argue from outside of the Bible. It's like they're gonna take that and think that you're saying we use other things to prove truth. Like we're not sola scriptura. That's what they're gonna think.
I believe that Bible is the word of God.
When he says he is the
what
door,
you're saying,
what does that mean?
Here's what you're saying.
So now, see, he shouldn't have said that because now Tazariak and them are going to stay on that, even though the second thing he said was a very good point. Is Jesus a couple pieces of plywood thrown together? They're not going to answer that because that will hurt their argument. They're going to jump to, wait a minute, let's get you here because you just messed up and said, we don't use the Bible to prove our points. That's what they're thinking you're saying.
We take the Bible as authority. You're saying that's not good enough.
Nope, not what I'm
we
saying
take
at
it
all.
as authority totally.
Okay,
Absolutely
then
not.
you
You need to
can't
read in
dispute-
context, just like
You
any
can't
other book. That's what we're
dispute
saying.
What I'm saying from the Bible.
Yeah, but
You
he made a
can't.
good point about the door. I thought that was pretty good. You
When
didn't
he said
respond
I
to
made
that.
that point, not him.
No, I'm saying
No,
you
he-
made that
yeah,
point.
Yeah. I want to answer.
White man
He
always
just
wanna
started
take
talking
credit.
about
That's
some
cool.
white man and stuff and got off
You said
topic.
what?
Can we get back to that door part?
What? Say again what you said about the door.
I said when Jesus says,
Probably a joke.
"I am the door,"
That's right.
does that mean a couple pieces of plywood slapped together?
No.
Why
it
not?
does not.
Why not?
And cha-ching. There you go. Cool. I don't know what I'm saying. Is this some? I got excited because that's the whole point right there. Jesus uses symbolic language, man. So how do you know that when he's talking about the throne, he's not talking about something symbolic to represent authority, right?
Because it's a
Take it
metaphor.
literal, like Revelation. Take it literal.
Who's taking it literal?
I,
The
but
Bible.
I didn't need a lexicon to know it wasn't literal.
Yeah, I didn't
Why?
need it because
Why?
No. Now you're coping. Brother. I didn't need a lexicon to know that it wasn't literal. That common sense stuff don't work with the Bible. Do you know you're reading into Old English? You're reading past Latin. You're reading Hebrew, Greek. Of course, you need a lexicon to know that because Jesus says that. Well, God says his wings. Like I don't need a lexicon to know that those wings are actually something. Like he could have hands. He could have wings. Does he is his skin really the color of brass or is it something different? Does he literally have eyes of fire? Is there fire coming out of his eyes for real? Like you need a lexicon. Yes, you do. I mean, I'm just saying for your argument. I'm not saying everybody needs a lexicon to read the Bible, but I'm saying he's talking about he needs a lexicon. I don't need a lexicon to know that. The common sense stuff ain't it, bro. You can't use common sense today's language to interpret the Bible. If he says I am the door, then by your standard of how you read Revelation, you need to take that literal too, because you just said by your own standard that this needs to be literal. We can't assume metaphorical. We have to take it literal. And then you hear Jesus is the door. He's the light. Oh, no. That's metaphorical. But by your own standard, you have to say it's literal. Don't be trying to change the frame, yo.
Because it's called.
So you just interpret any old way you want then?
No, you interpret it the way God gives you the interpretation. Christ is also the lamb. I don't think he's a lamb laying on here.
Good.
Getting
Hey,
sacrificed.
now we're getting
It's
there you
called
go.
common sense. But
Okay,
in the
good.
book of Revelation,
Common
when he's having the visions, there's some
Right.
things that are metaphor, there's some things that are literal, there's some things that are not.
Okay.
Good.
So when it describes what you're seeing in that crystal, when it describes the Lord's throne, when it describes them screaming his name, the Holy of Holies, and the elders, and them weeping because nobody can open the book, and then the Lamb, which is Christ, comes before it. The point is, the one that's on the throne, even if you made it symbolic, there's still symbolically a power on the throne and symbolically a man coming before the power of the throne to open up the seals. The one on the throne is not the one, excuse me, the one in the Lamb is not the one on the throne. The one on the throne is the ultimate power. Correct?
Sal, what do you think?
Yeah, answer. The one on the throne symbolically is the ultimate power. Stuck.
You're stuck.
Say it.
You're stuck.
The one on the throne
You're
is
stuck.
the power. Look, they won't say it because you're stuck. Come on, say
No,
it.
you're the one
Okay,
stuck.
is the one on the throne the power? Yes or
How
no?
do you determine what's metaphor and what's literal?
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I'm
well, you
taking
started
it as a
earlier
metaphor.
saying
Common sense. Common
The
sense,
one
common
on
sense
the
for
throne.
everybody. We talk to
Why you
endless
can't
amounts of
answer the
professors,
question?
black, white,
Why you can't answer-
brown, it
answer
doesn't
the
matter what
question
they
about
are.
the door?
They say nothing, it's just
I like
common
this.
sense
Good
in the
job.
Bible.
Good job. Come on.
You just debate from authority. That's
No,
what
it's
we're
good.
doing.
Good job setting it up. That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
all right,
That's what I'm saying. Good say. You right.
All right, now
you
why,
son,
why, are all,
man.
why are all people equally valuable?
All people are not equal.
Oh, he doesn't believe that. He's a
Well, I
black
don't
person.
care.
There's no such thing as
Who's
equality
superior?
on the face of
Who's
the earth.
superior?
Israelites are superior.
Israelites
We
are
are
superior.
It's not even a
Why?
real
I'm
question.
gonna tell you.
Why do you believe that?
Because the Bible says it. It's not because
Exactly.
we're great in
It
number.
never says the Israelites are
The
superior.
Israelites aren't even a real
Deuteronomy
thing.
7:6 says, I
It's like
chose you
he's
to be
Jewish.
above all nations on the face of the planet, and I did not choose you because you were the greatest. I chose you because you are the least.
And that does
So
not
the only
mean
reason that
anything
Israel,
about ethnic
yes, it does.
superiority. It means
Who's
that
the
it shows
Israelite?
you life
Wait. When you say that's not about
God
ethnic
reveals
authority,
himself through them. In
and were they
Genesis
ethnic
1,
or not?
27, 28, we read,
Before you do
God
that,
created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female,
When you
he
said-
created them.
when
Why
you-
don't you listen, sir, as well as speak?
I am
I'm trying to
listening.
listen to
I'm
you.
asking
Listen to
you a-
me.
I'm asking
Genesis
you a
1,
question,
27 and 28, we're
Right.
created in the image of God,
Right.
all of us,
Right.
which means all human beings
Here,
have equal
and I don't-
value and dignity
part of
because we're all created in the image of God. That's why white is not
But
superior
hold
to
on,
black,
he made
black
an
is not
interesting
superior to
point.
white.
He said that he's the least. So what he's saying, are you saying that you're the least intelligent at the table?
No,
Because that's something that I think we could all get
superior
behind.
intelligence at this table.
You're physically
Clearly.
superior, but I would say you're physically
LeBron.
superior.
But now
LeBron
I want to
James.
get back to that. When you said he
You're
chose to
saying you look
spoke
like
through
LeBron
Israel,
James?
was
Yeah,
Israel
LeBron.
ethnic at that point?
He's saying you look like LeBron James.
He just saying it because all black people, and it's crazy. I'm light. LeBron is
Yeah,
dark.
I was gonna ask your
That's
friend.
the typical profile.
That's up to interpretation.
LeBron is like his complexion. That's how I know you don't know the Bible. You don't even know.
You don't even know about LeBron.
Like,
You don't know
you
about the
don't
Bible.
know.
You don't even know.
Jesus was black.
No,
man.
I
There
don't
was
know
no color.
But hold on, let me ask you a question. Your friend here, he's a little bit of a lighter color. Does that mean he's less worthy than you?
No, he's right. Why do you think he is?
That's basically a white
He
man.
just
That's a white
superior
man.
to
That's a white man.
Body bag.
That's what I'm saying. This dude is white with a red beard. Ain't he like Esau? Like what?
Yeah, body bag. That's a white man.
Yeah,
What
I'm
are
saying
you like
is-
an albino? You're
No,
some
but
sort of
you know what though?
animal?
I'm gonna tell you something. I think that there's nobody on the planet who wants to be
Have you
black
guys ever seen like the
more than
horses
Jewish
that are
people.
completely
You know what I'm
white?
saying? And that's why if we go to Eastern Parkway, y'all have a whole village where y'all dress like Run
Eastern
DMC.
Parkway?
Run DMC.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like, and that's
I don't even know what
why
they
you
are.
ever notice Jewish people wear black head to toe
Right.
because the Jews are black onto the ground. Y'all,
My Adidas.
Let me say this. This is.
This is crazy.
My Adidas. That's how I walk through Brooklyn.
I've never
And you're all
seen
black, head
Jewish
to toe.
people act
My
this way.
Adidas.
This is the
My
first time I've
Adidas.
ever seen Jewish people who act this way, but it's very interesting.
And the cap cans, right?
Usually they're trying to count the coins and stuff, but this is a
Big
very
beaver
different
hats.
demographic.
Why would you need one in ancient Palestine?
Yeah, why would you need that?
I think you might need one of those in Russia.
And I want to highlight something. You're saying Jewish people are not white,
Yeah, I'm
even
saying.
though
Yeah,
you
but
try to
I'm
say
not
that's
saying
him.
that as a compliment to Jewish people. I'm saying
I'm
it
not
almost
saying you
as
say
a
that's a
derogatory
compliment, but
thing.
you made a difference in ethnicity.
No, I'm saying that he's not Jewish and he's also not
not
black.
Jewish.
Here's the thing: he's also
He's
not
not-
white. He's at like a
he's
he's
not
at a
Jewish.
whole.
Just because you said a difference in ethnicity, that's what people recognize because we're going with the fact that this guy categorized us and it stuck. From the 1700s to now, it stuck. What are they doing with this whole gender identity thing? So that's like me saying, oh, so you just said this person's trans, so you must believe in transgenders. No, because that's the phraseology that they use. So I have to say that now because y'all making it a thing. It's not real. Race is not real, bro.
whole different level. This is a black, black, but like this is like this is a low level. It's like he got unlucky. It sounds offensive to say, but it's like he wants to be
We don't
Jewish.
get offended.
I got one more thing.
Okay, well, hold on. I was gonna say he wants to be Jewish, but he's not. He wants
We're
to
not
be
Jewish though.
Shh, hey, you need to be quiet at some point. He wants to be Jewish, but he's not. He wants to be black, but he doesn't look like it. He wants to be white, but he clearly doesn't have the intelligence. So
Right.
it's like, what are you? Some sort of
Can
horse?
you talk in your real voice?
This is my real voice. Maybe
He's no great character.
No,
He's good.
maybe this is like
good.
maybe he is like from the Bible, but not as a prophet. Like when they're talking about like
definitely a
lambs and
prophet.
stuff.
White.
Is he like a lamb from the Bible?
He's
but like
definitely a
not as
prophet.
metaphor,
Hey,
like a
you want to know
literal
how
thing?
good of a prophet is? He knew you was going to bring up the white angle.
Wow, that's a prophet right there. He
In the New
prophesied
Testament,
that.
Jesus is
This
called
guy's a real
shepherd,
genius.
and he's also called lamb.
In the New
It's not a
Testament.
contradiction.
So he's a dog.
It's a metaphor of Jesus. He's
Right.
not a little sheep going
I
around
agree.
Baba, and he's not a shepherd
For
taking care of sheep.
Israel.
All right, so you've got to be able to interpret fairly. Now, how do you interpret? You interpret by respecting literary style and by reading in context. And when you respect literary style and read in context, you'll come up with an accurate interpretation.
And you don't
Can I
do so,
add
you
one
come off
more
as really
level?
ignorant.
Can I add one more level of that?
Oh, he has another
In
level
Matthew,
to out here.
in-
Hold on.
Christ said, I'm glad that he kept us from the wise and prudent and gave it unto babes. So would you also add that the Lord has to give you understanding as well?
Of course, the Lord has to give you
Would
understanding.
you say that
And babes, that means through humility.
Would you admit that that outweighs whatever smartness anybody can have on a flat level? If the Lord can give anybody understanding, we would agree, right?
That's correct.
And the reason why he made that statement about giving it to keeping it from the wise.
Who
and
did you agree
prudent,
with there? Because you said you
even
right
during
after he
Christ's
said something.
time, the ones
Him?
that were considered
Okay.
wise.
No. no, no, no. This is so wrong, guys. If a kid is in school and a teacher's teaching them what 2 plus 2 is. 2 plus 2 equals 4. You can memorize it or you can understand it. When you understand why 2 plus 2 is 4, when you can imagine 2 bears and 2 other bears coming together and they are 4, then that is God giving you the revelation. Any knowledge you have, you got it from God. You didn't get that by yourself. Now, you could learn things in a way that God didn't want you to learn it. But what does he do? He does things like hardening Pharaoh's heart. He will send you a strong delusion. He will allow you to learn things that he may not have wanted you to learn. But this is the thing. Any knowledge that you get, you get it from God. Any confusion, you created that, and God allowed you to get it. He probably sent it your way if you wanted that more than you wanted the truth. But you don't say, this person's smart, so is that going to outweigh somebody that has biblical knowledge? No, because the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. You can't, the Bible and reality are the same thing. The Bible is reality. That's why in reality, the Bible can be proven. But you're saying something so crazy like truth versus facts. Like they go hand in hand. You can't say this is an actual fact. Like if you're talking about scientific facts, memorizing things, but you can't get truth for real if it's not true. A fact is something that's true. So he's saying like somebody that's just intelligent, they're intelligent, they know things. Can they outdo someone that has the biblical knowledge? Like you can't outdo somebody with biblical knowledge or truth because it's not going to make that person that knows things, it's not going to make him inaccurate. The things that he knows, if he actually knows them, they are a part of the truth. There's no, like, atheists have some parts of the truth, but they deny the one who gave it to them. It's just such a weird way to word it, to where it's like certain knowledge isn't actual knowledge. It's just kind of dumb.
Thought they knew the Bible, thought they knew the word of God, but they didn't.
The Pharisees.
The disciples were called, what were the disciples? Were the disciples scholars? No. They called the disciples unlearned men because they were fishermen. They were men that fished. They were not men that read books. So when you try to make this scholastic argument, it falls.
He's saying that he knows how to fish.
Luke wrote the biography of Paul. Was Luke a doctor?
No matter how smart.
Was Luke a doctor?
No matter how,
they weren't all fishermen, bro.
No, they wasn't. But no matter how smart or dumb you can,
that's the LeBron of fishing.
If the Lord does not give them the understanding, it won't matter.
No, bro. No. Facts are facts. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. Jesus says, I am the truth, the way, the light. He's the path. If you have truth, then God gave it to you. And that's revelation. This is such a terrible argument. This is, I'm right, so you're wrong. Like, no, when we get to that type of argumentation, don't even come over here and try to debate anything. You're wrong because God only gives certain people the revelation. Well, what good does that do to even bring it up? If God gave you the revelation, then okay, you're right and I'm wrong. God gave it to you. He didn't give it to me. How are you going to prove that though? If I tell you right now, God told me that Hebrew Israelites, that's a false religion. He told me that right now. I mean, how are you going to, and he did tell me, by the way. So how are you going to tell me? Well, we're the real Jews, we're the real Hebrew Israelites. So he didn't. I was like, okay, well, I am. I'm the real Hebrew Israelite and you're wrong. Like, how far we get with that? I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. That's what you're doing. That's why you need facts and argumentation to prove a point, or don't even come on the discussion. I'm just supposed to agree with you because you say you're a part of the Hebrew Israelites. You're part of those tribes. Like, that's not going to help us further the conversation. What's the point of talking? If we're wrong, then you're committing the problem of Matthew 7 and casting your pearls before swine. If that's true, so just go off in la la land and believe you're right in any argument, even if it comes from God. At that point, you won't hear it because you think you're right, and pride goes before destruction. You're starting to have a God complex now. You don't even realize it.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are beautifully written. No, they're not intellectuals, but they're very clear communicators of truth. They don't go blah, 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 blah. They don't go la, 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 la,
And
la.
I've been clear
They
on
use
this
human
stage so
language
far
to
showing
communicate
that
ideas.
Jesus is not God. I've been clear. The Bible is clear that Jesus is not God.
John 8:58, Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am.
Yeah,
and the
because
Jewish
his
people picked up
divine
stones
work,
to stone
his
him.
divine coming is what he's talking about.
What do you
He's
mean
not
Every time someone says this, that Jesus is not God, there's only one verse I go to. Hebrews 1:8. Hebrews 1:8. I mean, obviously there's other verses that you can go to, but it's like there's too much wiggle room, because if I say 1 Timothy 3:16, then God was manifest in the flesh, which is a really good verse too, to show that Jesus is God, that God was manifest in flesh. They try to change the definition of the word manifest to mean something else. When I say Jesus is the visible image of the invisible God, I think it's John 1:14, they try to say, they bring up metaphors and stuff to just make their point, but they can't really do anything with this. Let me use the King James version, because that's what Hebrew Israelites are on. So Hebrews 1:8. But unto the Son, he saith, this is God talking to the Son. He says, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever, a scepter of righteousness in the scepter of thy kingdom. Why? Why is God calling Jesus God? Why did God just call the Son God right there? He wouldn't refer to him as a false God, would he? Why did he do that? Jesus is God. That's why. Or you have to say he's a God, which would contradict scripture, because there's only one God. So how is he a God? You believe what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe? What are you saying? So there's no need to go into the I am that I am. They can just try to make up something with that because it doesn't say the wording. One dude asked me one time, he said, where does Jesus say in the Bible that he's God specifically? I was like, I mean, their Bible says I come in my Father's name. When you see me, you've seen the Father. He said, well, no. What does the Bible say? Where does Jesus say specifically he's God? I was like, it doesn't say it in that language, because there's he doesn't say it that way for a reason. You know, Jesus is a God that speaks evidence. He doesn't just speak certain claims like that. He gives you the pieces of the puzzle to where you can't argue with it. If I just tell you, hey, dude, I'm God, you can be like, how? No, he's like, hey, look at my works. What have I done right now? Like, am I proving to you that I'm God right now? Look at this. I am the I am before Abraham. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What? What do you mean? How did you? Oh, you're connecting the dots for me. You're not just going to say I'm God, because you're connecting dots. You're trying to give me the evidence so I can't argue with it. So when God says, which maybe they disagree with Paul, so I think they can get rid of that verse too, which they're going to have to get rid of a lot of the Bible. Even, but John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. I don't know what they do with those verses, like, but whatever. I don't, Jesus is definitely God.
Divine coming.
Because in the very next chapter, that blind man that he healed said, I am ego emai as well. That Greek term, ego emai, say I'm smart too. That Greek word, ego emai, in the very next chapter, John 9:1, when Christ healed that blind man, he makes the same statement.
He's talking about ego
No, he does not.
You cannot
there is
make
nobody
ego
that
emai.
Jesus healed who claimed to be the
You
great
cannot-
I am
you
who I
cannot-
am.
You
No
cannot
way.
make
That
ego
is so
emai
dishonest.
the
That's scary.
standard. Because
That's
ego
not what
emai is what you scholars like to use to say.
I'm not a
nobody else
scholar.
said
You're the one who
ego
said you're the
emai.
scholar here, okay?
Nobody
I'm
else
not a
said
scholar,
ego
man.
emai.
Chosen.
When
You're
he
the
said-
chosen.
You said who's what?
You're the one who claimed to be
Yeah,
a
you're the
scholar.
chosen.
I'm not a
I am the
scholar,
chosen.
okay?
Listen,
You're
raise your
the
hand.
chosen scholar.
There you go.
So you're the
You
intelligent. You
said
said you're the
proponent of all
intelligent one
racism.
here,
I'm not
okay?
the
And
intelligent
I'm
one.
not
I'm just the
claiming
one
to be
that God is
intelligent or a
with.
scholar.
I'm not
But
the
I am
intelligent
claiming
one.
that
I'm
I
just
can
the
read
one
a
that God
text
is with.
honestly. And when you read the text honestly,
That's right.
the New Testament claims Jesus is God
Nowhere.
revealing
What
himself
verse
in
says it?
human form.
What verse says it?
John 8:58, John
He does not
10:30,
say I'm
Philippians
God.
chapter 2. I've already
As a
given you a
matter of
bunch.
fact, when Christ asked Peter, who am I? What did Peter say? Crickets. What did Peter say?
Because you're ripping stuff out of context.
I'm just
You're not
asking a
showing us where it
question.
is. What passage are you
Yeah,
talking
you said
about?
a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which
I was specific. I'm gonna say-
First of all, I hate that tactic where you're just trying to get a win for the public. Like, just have the conversation, bro. You're not, when you start doing stuff like that, talking about some old crickets, you're not being honest. I mean, I could take a joke, but I'm just gonna be like, you're filibustering and then expecting me to answer the way you want me to, and then saying crickets when you're taking stuff out of context. Like now I got to go back and figure out what are you even talking about? Because you just say stuff and you want me to understand what you're saying. Like I can say some, well, God's a jibber jabber rabba laba, ain't he? Right. You don't have no answer. Because the way that you just put that together, no one's ever put it together like that before. That sounds crazy. I'd have to hear your dumb argument and then be able to respond to it when it's so dumb I've never heard of it before. And you want me to just spit out a response. It's like, yeah, that makes no sense. So I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. When people use that dumb tactic and they want you to respond on command immediately, what are you you're explaining something to me and I'm having a conversation with you. So give me a second to understand what you're saying. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready,
So when a woman was caught in adultery, did she? Yet y'all still put her to be a Jew because Africans.
It was derogatory.
That's not saying he's God.
Oh my
That's
God.
not saying
He's Son of Man. He died as King of the Jews. By the way, he always received worship. Show me one place in the entire Bible, New Testament, where Jesus did not receive worship willingly.
And John, when you mentioned something before,
Everybody else, angels always said, even angels said, no, we're not God. Paul, everybody tore their clothes. Anybody ever said, you are God? Silas, even for example. Jesus always accepted worship.
No, he did not. Wait, I'm sorry, not the worship part. In Matthew 4, Christ said the Father is the only one that you shall worship. But on the subject of worship, you're right. A man can receive worship. Did Solomon receive worship?
No.
Well, let's let them respond.
Hold on. The Bible says they worship God and the king. They worship God and the king.
Did Solomon accept worship? Did he say, I am God?
He had to accept worship.
Yeah, so this is First Chronicles 29 and 20.
No. Hey, minus a point there.
That's embarrassing, bro. He had to. What kind of theological point is that? He had to? Did he is the question. What do you mean he had to? That means this sounds like a non-answer. You don't know what you're saying.
God and the king. They worship God and the king.
Did Solomon accept worship? Did he say, I am God?
They had to accept worship.
Yeah, so this is First Chronicles 29 and 20.
No. Hey, minus a point there.
Negatives over there. You just reading the Bible.
No. You can't put out the phone.
Before you say on the Son of Man, being called the Son of Man.
As a punishment, I'm going to cut off your point and we're going to move to the next topic.
Wait.
No, you can't because you're trying to cheat over here with your guy.
Reading a Bible verse?
You have a white man cheating.
He's not white though. Read the Bible verse. If he's white, then the Jewish man is white.
What? When I said,
I'm not
when I said the
confused.
Jewish man wasn't white, I wasn't saying it as a good thing. It was derogatory.
No matter how you say it, you only basing it off of appearance.
Okay, stop interrupting all the time every time somebody talks. When I was saying that he wasn't white, I was also saying it as a derogatory thing. Just to be clear, it was all derogatory. Jews and at the white man.
Doesn't matter if it's derogatory or not. You're basing it off of skin tone. You see how we say we're not African? Africans have black skin, like black people have black skin.
I already agree with that. I already completely agree with the idea that he has no behavior of a white man. It's like
he's superior to a white man.
In the world of clowns and cuckoos.
Thank you. All the Israelites are. He's an Israelite.
You're right. I mean, if that makes you feel better to say that,
it actually does.
Yeah, I know. Most people would think that he's like Puerto Rican.
Damn, that's not bad.
Okay, is that good?
That's good.
Okay,
man. That's good.
Most people would probably think that you're homeless.
I'm not though. I'm not.
I'm just saying because of your look and stuff. I mean,
this look homeless.
That hat looks like something a homeless person would find and start telling people he found the treasure.
I think that if the Jews are really black, then I think that makes Jewish people wicked.
Okay, yeah, that's the next topic. Hold on, I was gonna ask. I don't even know what you said, but it's a question for you guys, and then they can move into it. Do you believe Africans are the real Jews?
No.
Okay.
We don't either.
Yeah.
Oh, but you see how he's answering deceptively, like what he's doing. He's pretending not to be African. So
I'm not pretending.
Come on, just answer the question.
It's
we get it. We get
for
your
African
thing here.
to be a Jew because Africans come from Ham. Israelites come from Shem.
Why is he talking about food? What is he even talking about? Okay, we'll move on and get to the next topic. I don't even know what he's
This
saying.
guy right here. Oh, my bad.
Wow. Bert, fix that, please.
Yeah, he was meant to be knocked down. A white man coming into a black man's house is diabolical on Christmas.
Considering
imagine that you got to tell little white kids he's coming into your house to give you gifts.
Bert?
No,
or Santa Claus?
Santa Claus.
What's wrong with that?
So what's the
Yeah,
problem?
it's like a little happy story for
Do you
kids.
celebrate Christmas?
No, I don't celebrate Santa Claus. I celebrate Jesus Christ becoming
That's
a human
idol
being. And he was born. That's what we
He
celebrate.
just said he
You
didn't
just said
celebrate
that
Santa Claus.
Christ wasn't born on December 25th.
That's right. He
You
wasn't
said
born on
that.
December 25th.
So that's idol worship. That's breaking the first commandment.
Didn't Christ warn against the traditions of men?
Yeah, warn against.
Bro, he's breaking the first commandment, idol worship, because he celebrates Jesus' birthday on a day. If you ever celebrate somebody's birthday on a Saturday instead of the day they were born, you're making them an idol, guys. What kind of ridiculous statement is that? You have to know the date of Jesus' birth in order to celebrate that he was born? That's just, it's not even, what is idolatry? An intention to serve another God. If it's the God, they believe that Jesus is God. So that's the God they worship. I would never make that dumb argument as a Hebrew Israelite to say that you're worshiping another God because you got the birthday wrong. What is idolatry? Worshiping another God. Oh, you're worshiping the God that was born on December 25th. He literally just said that he wasn't born on December 25th. So he recognizes that. So he understands that God wasn't born on that day. So he doesn't, it would be different if he had a misunderstanding of the God he worshiped. You could try to slither your way into making an argument about him worshiping a different God. But he realizes that, okay, like if you take the days of the week, if you go to church, they don't believe in Sunday, going to church on Sunday. But if you believe in going to church on Saturday, then you're worshiping the God of what, Saturnalia or something? Whatever God is the God of Saturday, and you call it Saturday, and you say Saturday is the Sabbath, and you have a misunderstanding that the Saturday is actually from a pagan god. Are you not worshiping Saturday because you misunderstand where the name of the day came from? You're not worshiping. Yeah. Anyways, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Common sense, right?
Mark the 7th chapter, the traditions of men you accept. Christ didn't accept the traditions of men.
How do we accept the traditions of men?
You celebrate Christmas.
It doesn't matter if it's the 25th or not. That's 1 out of 365 chances that it was actually on the 25th.
But why
There's
you
no
celebrate
record.
So the only day you can't celebrate Jesus' birth is the 25th. You can celebrate his birth every other day, but not the 25th. Okay.
But there's no Bible to say to celebrate his birth.
Or Jesus was born. Thank you. Isn't that a little mini celebration? So you can't make it any bigger than that. Hey, minimize your happiness for Jesus being born. Like, you're just saying stuff. Can't keep
somehow we worship
that.
Christ
That you definitely do. That Christmas tree that they have right there, that's in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. That's an idol.
Do we worship it?
It's an idol.
Oh my God. Bro, hold up. I gotta take a break now. Look. Let me tell y'all something. Jeremiah chapter 10 ain't talking about no Christmas tree. Read Jeremiah chapter 10, bro, please. And I read this so many times. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. But please read Jeremiah chapter 10. I'm just gonna say a little bit. I'm not gonna like pull it up and all that. Okay. Hear ye the word of the Lord, speaketh unto you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Lord. Learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Okay, what do the heathens do? For the customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Okay, they deck it with silver and gold, they fasten it with nails, and with hammers that it move not. Oh my gosh, that sounds just like our Christmas tree. That's so crazy. They are upright as a palm tree, but speak not. What? Wait. Why are you telling me a tree doesn't speak? I can look at my tree right now in the living room, and I know it doesn't speak. Why are you telling me it doesn't speak? That's crazy. They must needs be born. They must needs be born? What are you talking about? The tree needs to be born? This word born is talking about being created. Because they cannot go. They can't go. Wait. What are you talking about? They can't go. Can a Christmas tree go anywhere? Of course not. Why are you telling me a tree can't go? Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. Guys, if we use a little common sense here, we know it's not talking about a Christmas tree. This is talking about something that looks like an idol. Psalms 115. We got to stop listening to, if we knew nothing about Christmas, we wouldn't be assuming this stuff into the text. Let's look at Psalms 115, 4-7. So their idols are silver and gold and work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes but they see not. They have ears, they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. Silver and gold, In this verse again, I'm going to pull up Jeremiah 10 and look up an image, and I'm going to share it real quick. But anyways, do you see the idol? Do you see the idol right there? That's what Jeremiah 10 is talking about. It's not talking about this tree. They didn't have these type of Christmas trees. This stuff started like 1400s or something. It's talking about this thing. When someone tells you Jeremiah chapter 10 is a Christmas tree, please ask them. Jeremiah 10 is talking about a Christmas tree. Please ask them what verse 5 means and watch them start sounding crazy. Oh, well, it was like a palm tree. It didn't speak, because trees don't speak, and it's telling you that it's not a real. Yeah. Please tell them what does that mean? What is it talking about in verse 5? That's all you need to ask them. So Jeremiah 10 and 5. Please explain that to me. That's all you got to do. It ain't gonna sound crazy, because I heard them. They try to explain this like it's some God for real. I'm very interesting how they try to pull that together. But yeah, let's get back to this.
Idol, yes.
We don't worship.
We don't get into his house by himself.
Do you put the gifts under the tree?
We get gifts
No,
all throughout the year.
he's a criminal. He comes to the church.
You're telling me it's an idol?
Leading up to the 25th,
We think that crown that he's wearing is more of an idol than any type of
This
Christmas
is in
tree.
the
That is
Bible.
an idol.
That's in the Bible.
That's
That
in the Bible.
is in the
That's
Bible.
not in the Bible.
Listen, that's something.
That's an idol.
They want to worship.
That's something-
Jeremiah the 10th chapter. You take that tree. It tells you the workman cuts down the tree and deck it with gold.
And it's not
And
metaphorical.
put gifts
I
on it.
But
promise
that's
it's
not.
metaphorical.
But that's not real gold. Then you
So
know.
y'all celebrating Christmas.
So
but
what
y'all
are you
cele-
doing?
Y'all
Are you-
celebrating Jesus' birthday
You're
by putting that
you're
idol in there.
worshiping
Talking about
steel.
that
That's
Jesus.
not real
We
gold.
I don't
need
worship
context.
it.
You said you're supposed to
It's a
wear,
headpiece.
and it's not real gold.
Remember me by the fern.
Remember that. But that's not. That's all fake up there. Why do you wear that? Let me ask you.
In Ezekiel, I think it's Ezekiel
He said
25.
to wear
Ezekiel
fake
wore
gold.
Mitri. It's like a Mitrio headpiece. You can go First Maccabees when they wore like apparel. So we
Push back on that, bro. Like Jeremiah 10 is not talking about a tree that looks like a Christmas tree, bro. Why does it say upright like a palm tree for one? You cannot decorate any wooden table at all and make it the center piece of your dining room because it's made out of wood. And you have those little gold little studs, and there's gold, and this dresser is made out of wood and metal, and you can't put any silver and gold into this dresser. Like, be consistent, bro. All this stuff is made from a tree. If it's made from a tree and it's got silver and gold in it, but then you think about it, like, is it really about the silver and gold even? Because I can make an idol without silver and gold. I can make an idol with aluminum foil. I can make an idol with metal. I can make an idol with plastic if I wanted to and worship that. Do you really think it's the silver and gold or the wood that makes it a bad thing? Oh my gosh, it's a tree. You can't put a tree in your house. Well, get rid of your wooden piano, get rid of your wooden tables. Like, don't be inconsistent over here, bro. A tree is not a god until you worship it. This is
wear a
embarrassing.
headpiece of scarves when we go out and teach. Like he has the headpiece.
Idols were primarily
It's
gold,
not idol,
exactly
bro.
like that.
Right.
This is
That
not an
looks
idol.
like an
Tell me
idol
what's
to
an
me.
idol about.
Show me biblically. It's
Tell me
so
what's it- all
frequently.
you gotta
Everything
do-
is either
Have
made
you
of
ever
gold or
seen the way
silver.
Aaron and them
That
dressed?
is more of
Aaron
an
and
idol
them.
than
That
this
is,
right
I,
here.
we
What
can
is y'all
read,
wearing
Idolatry.
we can
That's
read
heathen, bro.
Jeremiah the
That's
10th
bad.
chapter. Have y'all ever read Jeremiah the 10th chapter?
Sacrilege.
Yeah, sure have.
Does it describe that tree?
I can promise you.
Does
It
it describe that tree?
doesn't mean anything.
Wait, so he said I'm right.
Zero.
It does describe the tree.
And you think-
but yet y'all still put the tree
How
in your
much
house.
stuff is no longer
so
discounted in the Old
imagine-
Testament
so
into the New?
Nothing.
Exactly. It's not prescriptive
Wait,
whatsoever.
say-
There's
wait, say the
descriptiveness.
statement that you
It's
just said.
descriptive.
No, no.
I'm saying it right now.
No,
You're not
saying
gonna let me say it.
No, I
I'll
want you
get
to
there.
say
I'll
it.
get there.
You have to
Hold
let
on.
him speak sometimes.
Yeah, geez, man. It's hard speaking with an idol right
It's
now.
all being rude to interrupt.
Yeah.
We've been all been
Oh,
interrupted.
okay.
Don't get emotional.
Well, he
That'd be
doesn't.
great. That'd be a
Don't
great
be a
thing to
girl.
learn.
Don't be a girl.
He
Don't be a
doesn't-
girl. We
Don't you be a
all been-
girl.
we all been interrupted.
Let's all
We all been
talk as
interrupted.
men.
I said,
Kindly
let
and
it go.
So easily
respectfully.
offended, bro.
I'm not offended.
Yeah, you
I
are.
said- I said we're all interrupted. Just don't
Are
be a girl
girls
about it.
inferior? You made it sound like girls are inferior
Yeah,
right
they
there.
are.
Girls complain about being interrupted when we all do it.
Girls are
That's what
inferior,
y'all
right?
do. I
Just
just
like
want
white
you to
men.
finish.
Girls are
I
inferior.
just want y'all to finish.
No,
Y'all
I'm
don't
not.
love
No,
white
you don't
women.
want us to finish. You
Y'all
want to
don't love the
interrupt.
white
That's
bimbo.
what you want to
Y'all
do.
don't
Let's be
love
honest. Let's
Girls,
be honest.
Y'all treat
white
that white
people,
woman like a bimbo.
kids,
Y'all don't love white women.
everybody else.
What the hell?
Look
is
at the
he
white
talking
women y'all
about?
put in
I don't know
power.
what
Look
he's
at Donald Trump's wife. Who loves that
What-
white
what
woman?
is he
She's a
guys-
bimbo. Donald Trump does not love his wife. Y'all don't love your wives. That's why you sleep with men.
You know, it's like when ChatGPT makes
The
an
biggest
error and it just
homosexuals.
starts
I mean,
giving
y'all
a bunch
sleep
of
with men.
stuff.
Y'all don't love your
I'm not
women.
even
But
following
finish
this.
breaking
I
it
don't
down.
know
Where's
what
he
he's
going
talking
with the
about.
Finish
whole
breaking it down.
Wait, break down that for us. That's
No, he didn't break down anything.
I know. I'm so confused. You
You know that to break
He's so
dancing.
smart. He's talking. Yeah.
Do you want to show your break dancing skills? I know that's something you guys know how to do.
I don't break dance.
Do you know how to break dance?
I'm breaking dance now, dancing on y'all.
Exactly.
No,
Full on of
dancing
dancing and
on-
not getting
Oh,
realistic.
there we go, there we go.
You can't
There
do
we
it,
go,
bro.
there we go.
It's on fire.
I do got to dance for you, not now, but I'll do it at some point.
I don't dance
Okay,
on
that
people. I
tree.
respect people, all right?
That tree.
I encourage you not to
That's
dance
not
on people.
respectful.
Hey!
There we go. Dumb and dumber.
That's so good.
I like making my podcast. I don't like making short clips of my podcast. So the AI
I like your dedication. He's great, man. But that tree is in there. It's an idol, and you're putting an idol in your house.
So is mixed fabrics. Why are you wearing mixed fabrics,
so
bro?
disrespectful.
Mixed
I'm not
fabrics.
wearing, I'm
Be
not wearing
consistent.
anything
The
mixed.
Old Testament says mixed fabrics.
I'm not wearing
Oh,
anything
you're not
mixed.
wearing any
This
mixed
is all
fabrics.
one material.
And your bro over there.
This is all one material.
How about your bro over there?
It's all one material,
So
and that's
you
all
have
one
never
material.
worn mixed fabrics in your life.
But that's an idol right there.
You're right.
That's
You
an
never
idol.
wash your clothes.
Oh!
People can turn that into an idol. People can turn
It
your clothes
already
into
is an idol.
No, it's not already.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You
It's a
just
tree.
admitted that tree is in Jeremiah the 10th chapter, and God was against
I
it.
didn't say
and
that.
you
I said
took
I
what
read
God was
Jeremiah 10.
against
I
and
didn't agree
decided
with
to put it in your
interpretation of
house.
That's for sure. No, we
That's
don't
why we
worship a
shouldn't follow
tree.
Christianity.
I think he's just jealous because he doesn't have a house.
I do have a house.
No, you
Good.
don't.
Congratulations. I'm glad you do have
He
it.
has a-
I've seen some black Hebrew Israelites who have tattoos. What's going on there?
So now I have a tattoo.
Exactly.
Right. But I
Idolatry.
was not an Israelite when I got the tattoo.
So take it off.
So just like when Paul was unaliving Christians, or excuse me, unaliving Israelites, and then he repented, them that wasn't counted against him. It's what he did forward. So whatever a man does before he's born again, that's what John the 3rd chapter said. So when a woman was caught in adultery, did she die? No, she was given a second chance. So brothers that have tattoos or
Yeah, a tattoo laser removal, you could argue, is the same thing as getting a tattoo, because you're doing another change to your body to get rid of the first change that you did to your body. Removing the tattoo does not make you less sinful. And I'm just saying that the logic doesn't follow that if you get rid of your tattoo, that's going to put you back in the state that you were in, because God changes the heart. So he's picking at their religion a little bit with the Hebrew Israelites, but he's not really being logically consistent with his arguments.
any other form of life, when they turn their life to Christ, they have a second chance.
Good.
Only a hypocrite would try to victimize them.
Good.
So you're not-
Agreeing.
so you're not-
Grace,
We're
man.
born
We're
again.
grace. I like that.
That's what
You gotta
Christ
keep
calls
the
us
law,
to
but you
be.
can't-
To be
the
born
other
again.
grace means
That's
you can't
great.
go and get more.
But I get what he's saying about, like, he's trying to pull out the point to the Hebrew Israelite that you're stuck in a law mindset and you're not giving any room for grace. And I get that. I just don't think the way he argued it was the best way to do it.
You got to get born again, Jesus said to John.
So under grace
Nicodemus in
means,
John 3.
now that y'all know y'all can't celebrate Christmas, you're gonna take that tree out your house.
No, absolutely
See the
not.
difference? The Israelites would take the tree out.
Well,
the
good
white
for
man,
you. That's fine to take
not
the
my
tree out of your
Jesus.
house. You don't have to have a tree
Not
in
my
your house.
Jesus.
You don't
like
have-
that.
See, that's the dumb junk when he says the white man. You know how many black people have Christmas trees in their house? You know how many Mexicans and Asian people have Christmas trees in their house? It's a thing that got popular and it blew up. It's the same thing as putting lights. There are a lot of traditions that we have. It's the same thing as, like, everybody has a podcast. That's not a godly tradition, right? That's a tradition of man to have a podcast, to have a YouTube channel, to have a TV show. These are all things that people do. We have microphones. Like, there are no microphones in the Bible. So when you're being logically consistent and you say, first of all, the white man thing is so stupid. The white man doesn't listen to correction, but the black man does. Like, how many black people have you argued with yourself that don't agree with you? Come on, bro. You be saying stuff and it be killing your arguments. Even if somebody wanted to be Hebrew Israelite, you ain't got no facts behind what you're saying right now. When you say the white man, you just killed your whole argument, because you know that's not just a white man type of thing. What are you talking about? That's Esau behavior. Esau was white. Red means white. God gave you that revelation, I guess.
That's great that you want to be born again. Have you been born again?
They put the gifts
Have
under
you
the
put your
tree.
faith in
Yeah,
Christ
yeah,
and
but
been born
the
again?
gifts
If you put the gifts under the tree, you paying tribute.
Do you put gifts under
No,
the tree?
no,
We're
no.
not paying tribute to a
Same thing.
tree.
What's
We're
the
giving
same
gifts.
thing? So
We're
Saint
giving
Nicholas
gifts
doesn't
to other
say
human
Wait,
beings.
Wait, can y'all just
He's mad because
No,
nobody
you
ever
don't
got him a
want
gift.
any.
If you put food on your dining room table, are you paying tribute to your table? Your table's made out of wood. Like, y'all just be saying stuff, bro. That's where presents can go. And maybe, I'm granted, maybe somebody, I mean, who knows? Can we find this information out? Did they used to put presents under the Christmas tree to worship the idol? We're giving this to the tree. What are we doing now? Does the tree get to keep those presents, or do they open them, throw the trash away, and use the gifts? Don't you think if we were worshiping the idol, they would stay there? Like, y'all just be saying stuff, bruh. And y'all be thinking it sounds so good. Like, you're eisegeting everything, not just Bible. You're eisegeting, like, life. You know why you do that? Yeah, I know, because I'm the one that did it.
Answer. You've
Yeah.
shown
He's
that very
jealous.
clearly.
You don't want an answer. You just want to interrupt. That's all you want to do.
You should let your son do the talking.
He can talk all he wants.
I'm submitting.
And why don't your buddy can talk all he wants? Right?
Daddy get mad too easily. Daddy get mad. But do y'all present the gifts to the tree?
No, we don't present a gift to a
Do y'all
tree.
put gifts under the tree?
Well,
Let me answer you for crying out loud.
Yeah,
come on.
No,
You said we
we
don't.
give our gifts to people,
Yes.
not to trees.
But before the 25th, are they sitting under the tree?
As a matter of fact, not gifts. The morning.
That laugh,
The morning.
that laugh, that laugh.
No. We're too lazy, man. We're too late to put it out anytime before. Anytime before.
Yep, you right. That laugh gave it away.
Mixed fabrics, man.
Well,
Mixed fabrics.
can I say
Your diet.
something?
I'm not keep
Hold
going.
on.
I just think you're a liar.
Can I say something real quick?
Never
I
touch
think
a pigskin.
I think that he's just a little bit upset because when Christmas time was coming around when he was a kid, his dad wasn't around, so he wasn't able to get any gifts. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm actually not upset at all.
Did you get any gifts from?
I'm trying to answer.
No.
you.
Okay, sorry about that.
I actually thank the Most High that I found out that was an idol. So I'm really.
No, I was asking if you got any gifts from your father during Christmas
I
time.
got gifts from my father,
Okay.
my mother, my grandmother, grandfather.
I don't think
my
that's the
family.
truth. I don't think so.
Yeah, I got
no.
gifts. My father.
I've seen
this
the
how I found
stats
out
on
Santa
it.
Claus wasn't real. As I wanted a bike for Christmas, my dad said you're gonna.
He talk about some. I seen the stats on people that don't get Christmas presents. It's crazy.
Get it, Santa Claus gonna get it. And so as they putting the bike together, I wake up in the middle of the night and I go see my parents putting the bikes together. I said, damn, I thought it was a Santa Claus.
Oh,
And
so-
it wasn't.
so
So my dad built my bike.
Right. So you realize because you obviously Santa Claus is
I
white.
realized the white man was the devil by convincing
Right.
us that this guy could ever come into a
And
black
if we're
person's
doing
house.
that, and Bert, pick it up. Bert, pick it up.
No, don't do that, Bert. Don't do
Bert,
that. No,
Bert,
hell
pick it
no.
up.
Bert,
Don't
don't do it. The slave master.
Is that his friend, or did he go with? He told a black dude, "Pick up that white Santa right now." Oh my gosh, this is funny, bro. He said, he knew the white man was the devil because of Santa Claus, because they introduced Santa. It's just dumb, man. It's dumb logic. All black people are bad because this black person. Well, this is all white people are bad because a white person introduced Santa Claus. You know what else a white person introduced? The term race to categorize people. And y'all go with it. Interesting.
It would not be your master today.
I am the
Y'all
slave
get
master.
somebody else's
I am
work,
the
not
slave
today.
master. And
I'm
what-
not letting him get up.
And if it's ever legal
I'm not
again,
letting him get up.
I will be the master of slaves.
That's why we're gonna put y'all in
But
chains.
you wouldn't be a
But
good
you're not gonna
worker.
let
You
him
would
get
be a
up.
bad worker. That's
right.
for sure, because you're
That's
loud
right.
and
You be fighting.
disruptive.
You would need somebody bigger
No,
than you to enslave me.
no,
I would have you walked all over here somewhere.
Hey,
you would never enslave me.
Yo,
Okay.
You raised, but he ain't picking that up though.
was
You're not getting.
every-
I'll hold him. the whole
You're
show.
holding him down. It's
No,
not
I'm
fair.
holding him up.
Okay, let him go and see if he picks it up. Pick it up, Bert. Bert, pick it up.
I'm the best. Do the yuck then. Now this the dance. This when I do the dance. That's the dance. Make sure you keep
That's
that
a
going.
point deducted for him.
Yes,
For me,
from you.
I'm the moderator. I don't have a point.
No.
Okay,
That's the
point
point
deducted. Point deducted.
You the best, man. You the best.
So did you call us the white devil?
I said that's why the white man is the devil. If you raised,
All right, so I'm a white man. Am I the devil?
yes. If you raised,
And what does that mean?
I love that Cliff just asked that question, bro, because that gets to the heart of the matter of why when I don't know if there's any Hebrew Israelite that's not racist. You have to be if your foundation is based on the racist white man that I keep bringing up, Carolus, something, Carolus. It's a guy named Carolus that created race. The word he coined, the word race never meant what it means today. In the 1700s, that word was used to justify having slaves. So they're using that same term race and saying that the white man is the devil. Biblically, you can't even say that. Like, you're talking about Bible. Like, if you said white people can't jump, white people can't jump high, white people can't play basketball, like, that's funny. And you can look at statistics to see who's more athletic in our category groups. But biblically, there's no such thing as a white race. So you're talking biblical. So the white man being the devil, like, it's not me being emotional. Because if it's true, it's true. If the Bible says it, it's true. But I can't wait to see what Cliff is going to say about this, man. This is funny. And it makes me think that Cliff don't really know too much about Hebrew Israelites, or he just has never like heard this point, or he's just excited to see him explain it and break it down.
The word devil means deceiver. How you try to deceive us with
okay,
Jesus is
deceiver.
God, deceiving us with Christmas. All of that y'all created and gave that to us.
Wait. You know who else was I'll say supplanter. I'm not going to say deceiver. So maybe it's a different word. But Jacob, He was a supplanter, and he deceived, he manipulated, and he did his own thing. But Jacob is the tribe that the Israelites come from because his name was later changed to Israel. But yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Y'all gave black people y'all form of Christianity through bloodshed and murder and slavery, took away, gave us a slave Bible, and then when we got the Bible, it taught us the revolutionary believing in the Most High the right way. We had to learn that.
What is the slave Bible?
On our own.
Yeah.
When a black man has to walk into an environment, and the first thing he has to establish is that he's a man is because of what y'all created. So yes, you are.
I did not create Jesus. Jesus was an historical person who lived 2,000 years ago,
like
and I did not create Jesus.
He did not look
Secondly,
like
you
y'all.
need to read Howard Thurman, who gave a great talk at Harvard in 1947 about the power of the Negro African.
He didn't look like white people, bro. Who cares about that stupid junk about how God looks? That does not give you any power if you know how God looks, if you know how Jesus looks. Jesus didn't look like y'all. Oh my gosh, it just sounds like trauma.
And spirituals. Those slaves understood that there was coming a day of judgment when God would judge evil and when justice would win. You got to read those spirituals because they are in touch with reality.
The only reason y'all got those spirituals because y'all enslaved a bunch of people against their will.
I didn't enslave anybody. I'm embarrassed by the way white folks.
Bro, stop saying y'all. Stop saying y'all. Every black person that does something bad is you. Come on, bro. It's just stupid. Stop saying y'all. When you say white people, y'all categorize us. That is sinful. It's against the Bible. It's unbiblical. God don't approve of you categorizing the people he created as the devil. He made these people. John 1:3, golly. John 3:16. God so loved the world that he died and he gave his only son. Golly, I'm sorry. I'm guess I'm tired. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. The world? What do you mean the world? Is that just Israel? Is that just the Israelites, or is it everybody? I'm confused. Either way, who's the Israelites? I don't know. Are they black people? Can't be, because black is not a real thing. It's a society term that a racist person made up, and Hebrew Israelites go with it. I keep saying the same stuff, and I'm like, y'all need to have me on the show, bro. This is crazy.
Enslaved people in the United States. I'm embarrassed by that, and I stand against that, and I stand for the value and dignity of all human beings created in the image of God.
That's good. So
Bro, that kills the whole point. If he's a white devil racist, don't you think he would still have the same mindset as the slave masters? Bro, it's just not even making sense. It's just clear proof white people are different, and you just went with it. You said that's good. So you just granted that he's different than the slave masters. So how you gonna say in the same breath, y'all did this? No, they did that. I'm not every white person. He ain't every white person. Come on. Y'all got to stop using. You talking about common sense. That's crazy. It's just the dumbest stuff I've ever heard.
So when we say the white man is the devil, it's not every. No,
right now, pick it
it's
up.
not
Bro.
every,
Pick it up,
no,
bro.
don't touch it.
Bro, pick it up. Bro, I'll give you $1,000.
Don't you?
$1,000 to
not
pick it up.
sell your soul for
$1,000. Don't sell your soul to the black devil. Pick it up.
Nah.
Bro, that's the black
You're
devil.
gonna learn today.
Bert,
You're not picking it up.
Bert, pick up the Santa
You're not
Claus.
pick- If I have to get up and make sure,
Oh,
you
so
don't
you're
pick
gonna
it up.
physically
That's
exactly.
right.
That's all these
That's
people
what we
know.
have
That's
to
all
do.
they know.
That's what we have to do.
Physical.
I'm not gonna
That's all
hurt
they
him.
know.
I'm just good. Christ
No,
said,
no,
"You shall know
no,
the
no.
truth,
You're
and the
gonna
truth shall make
physically
you
stop
free."
him. You're gonna
That's
physically
right.
stop him.
That's
You're
right.
gonna subdue him
And
by
Jesus-
choking him out,
Jesus-
stomping on his
but I wanted
head.
to say to you, but I want to say to you though, when we say the white man the devil, it's a general statement. It doesn't mean every individual. See how you said that?
Oh,
it's
so you mean
wrong?
it metaphorically?
No, not metaphorically. Meaning majority. Like 95% of y'all are the devil.
Oh,
Like that.
95% of white people are the devil.
And so what I mean, I'm saying that
How
to
do you
say,
know it's 95%?
Yeah, where'd you get
because
that
I have
from?
never met a good white man that
That's
did
not how
not have
stats work.
an agenda with his niceness towards my people.
So then wouldn't it be
That's the
100%?
only
Well,
type
that's
of people.
sad.
So then wouldn't it
It's not sad,
be 100?
Just in case you're wondering, there are a lot of
What about
white
you?
Northerners
I'll explain the
who got
5%.
killed
They get
in
down
the
on
Civil
their
War
face,
to free the black
they
slave.
hand the
Abraham
knee,
Lincoln was
they
opposed to
take our
slavery.
boots.
And there are a lot of white Northerners who gave their lives to bring slavery to an end. They hated it so desperately.
They didn't do enough though.
Well, they gave their life. What more do you want a guy to do than give his life for you?
Pass it down generationally the way y'all pass down slavery generationally. They should have
Hold on. What did he say?
had their kids fight for black people.
Well, I can promise you there are a lot of followers of Christ.
All the
who have stood against slavery.
No
Good.
problem. But
King's been leading
no,
to
but
it.
this is what's extremely interesting to me. Like you guys love, extra biblical historical.
Wait. Before we even go there, this man just said they gave their lives. They didn't do enough. They should have came back from the dead and told their kids to fight for fight against slavery. They're dead. What? Do you know all of these white people that are pushing affirmative action and DEI and like, no. The only thing that white people could do for black people is to have understanding and empathy. I can't give you my house. I mean, I'm black, but can't nobody give me their house because I'm black. You're a black guy. Let me give you my house. No, it's not gonna work. But this is just stupid stuff. What are y'all saying, bro?
Historical facts. Abraham Lincoln out of his own mouth said that he didn't fight the war to free the slaves. He did it for economic purposes. So for you to act like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
William Wilberforce
we
didn't
gave you this
exist.
Abraham Lincoln is not every white person either. It don't take away the fact that white people fought for slaves to be freed because they hated it so much. But you just threw that statement in the trash that he just said because you brought up one white dude, Abraham Lincoln. Great. Oh, good. Did you hear what I said about white people dying for the free slaves?
beating, but we're going to stop beating you, so now kiss our ass for it. Like, you out your mind.
What? Every single
That's a
great
heavy point.
abolitionist movement was done by Christians. And I hate to say it, 95% of those were white because they cared about the blacks and they
100%,
wanted
100%
great
of
change
them.
for the blacks because they loved him
No, they
with no
didn't.
incentive
Was
to
there
make
churches?
money.
Was there
And
churches
that's why
on the
Frederick Douglass,
plantation?
Frederick Douglass was black, by the way. That's why he teamed up with the whites, with Abe Lincoln, and said, no, we're not going after it.
Yeah. Did Abraham Lincoln get all the white people on board and say, well, you're going to make a lot of money if you free the black people? Did he say that? I mean, did he get everybody on board? Like, did they die because they wanted to make more money? Funny.
Because of financial means. We're going after it because of Galatians 3:28, which says neither slave nor free, neither male nor female, neither Jew nor Gentile, all are created in God's image. That's why we are going to set the black slaves free.
So what image was burned in the lawns of black people by the
Contagious
Oh,
are
oh,
hypocrites
oh, you mean
who
like
violate what
Christians,
Christ taught.
which is what Christians
There are
do.
many hypocritical Christians,
Yeah,
that's
they-
for
they
sure.
absolutely are. From the
There
Catholic
sure
Church
are.
all the way to the Southern
That's
Baptists
right.
who
You
are
don't
right
have to be
around
very
the
smart to see that.
But
There are a lot of
on
Christian
these- but
hypocrites.
here's the thing, though. On these slave plantations, was there or was there not churches?
Tragically, there were.
Yes,
Tragically,
tragically.
the
Absolutely.
white
You can rip
Christians
things
were
out of people.
racist too frequently, and that's sad. It's
Listen,
evil, and they will be
the
judged for that by God.
The abolitionists and people that y'all say fought for black people to get free. What did they give black people?
They were dead. They died fighting and giving in the Civil War.
No. What did Abraham Lincoln free the slaves? From
Yeah,
y'all?
he wasn't killed?
Wait.
He was killed. He was
What?
assassinated
Reparations. They
by
gave
John Wilkes
reparations.
Booth.
He said reparations?
Absolutely.
The FBA is fighting for reparations right now because black people have never received anything in regards to reparations. Some became sharecroppers where they had to work the same land that they was enslaved on. But black people were never given anything. And then when black people built their cities, who burnt them shits down? Who burnt them down?
Nat Turner, absolutely, that's
Ain't
historic.
nobody about Nat Turner. Black Wall Street, Rosewood, Paradise,
sounds like a funny
Chocolate City.
place. Black Wall Street.
You know there's never been an aerial attack on American.
Hey, $20 for crack.
You know there's
$20
never been an American term.
$20 for crack. What is going on in Black
They
Wall
didn't have
Street?
crack back then. They didn't have crack until y'all.
$20 for meth.
crack
$20
into
for
the
meth.
neighborhood. But there's never been an aerial attack
I
in
know I'm
America
right.
until y'all flew planes over Black Wall Street and bombed it because of your jealousy.
They bombed
Because
Black Wall
30
Street because they were
years
jealous?
of us.
They're never gonna get past it because they keep grouping all white people together. They're gonna stay stuck. And I'm like, when y'all can get past the fact that black and white people are exactly the same, like genetically, by their blood, there's no difference. You're never gonna be able to heal because the black people that should have got reparations are no longer here. Maybe if I don't know, a few were promised it and they're still alive. I forget how far it goes back, but you can't give all those people. That's what I'm saying. I don't group this person as that person. If my dad does something wrong, yeah, I would love, or if my dad, if you said you were going to promise something to my dad and he doesn't get it, I would love to reap that. But you can't give it to me, my brothers, and my sisters because that's like, okay, it just doesn't make sense. We've exponentially multiplied people. You should have gave it to my dad. You didn't. So it's just kind of like, I mean, you giving it to every single black person. It's like, it ain't really the solution now. We still shouldn't have got it. Reparations doesn't make sense, but what does make sense is putting money into our schools so you can affect the cause and not just put some money on the effect and have a setup for failure. That's like putting me on a register and not training me how to use the register. I'm going to fail. But if you train me how to use the register and show me the same teaching that you give the white person, and we have the same teachings, we have the same opportunities for growth, then we can have similar outcomes. Like put that money towards our opportunity. Don't just give me a bunch of money for my outcome because that's not gonna help me. When I see a man with a lot of money or a person with a lot of money, I don't ask them, "Hey, can you give me some money?" I ask them, "Can you show me how to make the money?" Jesus even said for us not to just be don't not to just ask for fish, but to be fishermen and to create fishermen. We should be fishers of men. We shouldn't just ask for fish. I can affect your outcome, but it would be so much better if we affected the black community's opportunities. Oh, look at that. It rhymed. Must be God, right? Honestly.
Being free from slavery, we built our own city, own hospitals, airstrips, and banks, and your jealousy burned it to
Well, jealousy's
the
a
ground.
sin.
So you can tell me about saying that to
Jealousy's evil.
say,
And I bet they were Christian.
Jealousy's evil.
yeah, were they Christian? Yes.
I don't have the faintest
The
idea
Klan was
whether they were
Christian.
hypocrites or
Thomas
not.
Jefferson was Christian.
No,
George
he was
Washington,
not.
yes, he was. They
Thomas
all
Jefferson
were
took a
Christians.
knife and cut out all references to the cross of Christ out of the New Testament.
All of
Don't
them
call him a
Christian.
Christian.
All
Man.
of them
He was a
Christian.
deist.
All
No,
of them
Thomas
Christian.
Jefferson was not a Christian. He was a
All of them
deist.
good Christians.
Study
They burned
Jefferson. He was
those
not a
cities.
Christian. He
Besides
did not
Black
follow
Wall
And then
Christ.
gave us
You mentioned
white
some other
Jesus.
things besides Black Wall
Yeah,
Street. What were the other ones?
Rosewood,
White Jesus is
Seneca
false.
Village,
Seneca
Paradise City, in
Paradise
Detroit.
City. There's no way there were black people in
Yeah,
Paradise
Seneca
City.
Village,
I mean, that's the antithesis of Paradise City. It's like
That's
everything.
why they called it Paradise.
Oh, like,
the reason why they
joke?
called Tulsa, Oklahoma, they call it Black Wall Street,
Yeah.
because it was nothing more richer than that city
Isn't
at that
Oklahoma
time.
like one of
And
the
that's why
lowest
y'all got
economic
jealous.
states?
I ain't gonna say there's no way black people were in Paradise City. That's the whole antithesis of what did he say? I gotta see that again. This man did not just say that. It's crazy.
It's a sin.
So you can tell me about saying that to
Jealousy's
say,
evil.
And I bet they were Christian.
Jealousy's evil.
yeah, were they Christian? Yes.
I don't have the faintest
The
idea
Klan was
whether they were
Christian.
hypocrites or
Thomas
not.
Jefferson was Christian.
No,
George
he was
Washington,
not.
yes, he was. They
Thomas
all were
Jefferson took a
Christians.
knife and
The
cut
deist,
out
he was a deist.
all references to the cross of Christ out of the New Testament.
All of
Don't
them
call him a
Christians.
Christian.
All
Man.
of them
He was a deist.
All
No,
of them-
Thomas
all
Jefferson
of
was
them
not a Christian. He was a
All of them
deist.
good Christians.
Study
They burned
Jefferson. He
those
was not a
cities
Christian.
to the
Besides
ground.
not follow
And then
Christ.
gave us
You mentioned
white
some other
Jesus.
things besides Black Wall Street.
Yeah,
What were the other
Christians
ones?
Rosewood,
White
Rosewood,
Jesus is
Seneca
false.
Village,
Seneca Village,
Paradise City, in
Paradise
Detroit.
City. There's no way there were black people in
Yeah,
Paradise
Seneca
City.
Village,
I mean,
yes,
that's the antithesis of Paradise City. It's like
That's why
everything.
they called it Paradise.
Oh, like
the reason why they
joke?
called Tulsa, Oklahoma, they call it Black Wall Street,
Yeah.
because it was nothing more richer than that city at
Isn't
that
Oklahoma
time.
like one of
And
the
that's why
lowest
y'all got
economic
jealous.
states in
Oh, I can't say y'all because you're Jewish.
I'm not Jewish. Oh, he flipped up. I'm Jewish now.
You're Jewish that rejects your Jewishness.
Oh, see, he
I ain't
flipped
mad
up now.
at
We
you.
have to
Wait, you know why
clarify.
you reject
Oh,
your
this
Jewishness?
guy's a fool, is
Because,
what he
like,
is.
as I said earlier, Jewish people want to be black, which makes them wicked.
Question. If
So
I
you don't want to be a wicker either. So you figure I'm gonna just be
Well, I'm
white.
not gonna say my variation of that term for you because it's like a brawl. He's gonna break out. But let me say something. If I'm gonna make you an offer. Yeah, I don't think he would win. I mean, again, he's like LeBron. He's the LeBron of fishing. If I get a hold of
Like
Mr.
Mike, LeBron, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, all of them.
Anyways,
Communist.
Jamin. Anyways, if I get a hold of Mr. Beast,
No, he's always doing
if I get a hold of Mr. Beast and he's willing to do a social experiment where we take a bunch of black people and tell
Who's
them they're
Mr.
on
Beast?
Wall Street,
A big T-runs.
can we do that? Would you be willing to be like a leader
Say it
there?
again, what you want to do?
I want to get a hold of somebody who can take a hold of this financially, and I want to see how Black Wall Street works out.
So what are you gonna do?
It's gonna be like Skid Row after 3 days.
No, what is the setup?
That's Black Wall Street in
No,
the real
what
world.
is
It's called
the
Skid
setup?
Row.
What is the setup?
What's the setup?
Yeah, what's the
We'll
setup?
get a bunch of African American. This sounds racist from me. I'm not being racist. I'm just
Man,
being a
just be racist. We know you are.
I am. Okay, fine.
Yeah, there
fine.
you
You got
Get
it.
into it,
Okay.
man.
We'll get a bunch of African Americans or Africans, whatever, and we'll give them their own little town, and we'll
Right.
give them a bunch
And
of.
y'all gonna leave us alone?
Listen. We'll give them a bunch of financial information, and it's like, what do you think is gonna? But we also have to make it fair. We have to give at least 2 of them crack, and we have to teach at least another 2 how to make it.
How many men? How many people?
100 men, 100 women.
200 people.
200
And only
people.
and only 2 have crack.
2 have crack. 2
So
can
let
make
them
it.
all be.
And the other
Let
one,
them all be from my school,
your,
except the 2 on crack.
like the school you went to, or the
No, the
school
school
that
I'm
you
in right now,
teach? Oh,
ISUPK.
okay.
You give 200
Oh, goodness.
people.
Yeah, you know what?
ISUPK.
Perfect deal.
You won't do it.
No, I will. If I can get somebody to fund
Yeah,
this.
you do it. You give them the funding.
I mean, dude,
I guarantee
the people
you,
who
y'all
are-
gotta leave us alone. Y'all gonna be jealous in 2 years. You'll be jealous.
Dude,
as hell.
in 3 days, it's gonna explode.
Let's find out.
There's gonna be like a crack
Let's
explosion.
find out.
We have to build a dome
Listen,
around
get
it so
you got
everybody's gonna get
They
infected.
can't just be 2 crackheads. You gotta have a drug dealer too.
You know what it's gonna be? It's gonna
I guarantee you bring them 2
I
crackheads, that
guarantee
drug
you
dealer.
that if we
We
do
gonna
this-
turn that crackhead.
order. Make sure.
Jews. And the people were irate. They stood up and they took Jesus to a cliff to throw him to his death, and he walked right through him.
Right.
So obviously racism is wrong. And so obviously a follower of Christ says, of course, people of different ethnic heritage can live in the same community.
Cat's setting up a whole paradigm down there where everything is based off of moral superiority. So everything that the white man has done in the past that's quote unquote evil, that's why they should submit to the great black man who's done everything that is righteous. Now, if you're going to go by that paradigm, you're going to separate and you're going to bring about a lot of violence and hatred. Secondly, if you're going to go by that paradigm, you're going to wipe away the entire central message that oddly enough he brought up earlier, which is grace. Jesus Christ went to the cross to die for us because he forgave us of our sins. So nothing is done out of moral superiority.
But
Everyone is bankrupt at the foot of the cross.
But couldn't you say that
because
that
of what
wouldn't
Jesus
really
did.
matter to him because at the end of the day he just wants to feel superior to people?
Who does?
Oh, this guy over here. And he's,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying nothing matters to him. Isn't that true?
Right.
Bert, I was talking to Bert, by the way.
So that's right.
What's going on here?
Bert's mute.
I'm gonna talk for Bert.
No, you're not.
Everything I'm gonna say,
You're
Bert
always
says,
interrupting and
right?
stuff. How about you be
Everything I
quiet?
say, Bert's gonna say, right, Bert? See?
That's right.
See? Thank you. So now what I first want
first want to say is what he said about Jesus Christ is false. Christ said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what he said.
When they say when John 3:16, for God so loved the world is not talking about everybody, because Christ also
What's the
said,
Good Samaritan?
I didn't interrupt this time.
Just think about that though.
No, I got you. Because the same man that said God so loved the world also said, I pray for them, I pray not for the world. So the world has to have a context. In Isaiah 45:17, it says, Israel is will be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded world. That's who Christ was talking about. When it comes to can we live amongst white people, it's very hard to ask a black person to live amongst white people with the history of us living amongst white people. The history of us, the whole reason why I bring up Black Wall Street and Rosewood, those were black cities that tried their.
This is why I don't have the conversation about the verses they want to go to. When I have this conversation, I'm going to end it here for right now because this is such a long video. So you can look at the rest of that on your own. Interesting conversation. But because I'll be here all day reacting to the same stuff. They keep bringing up the same points. It's the same issue they keep having. This is why I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. This is why I have an issue with the Hebrew Israelite doctrine, because every single time they start talking, saying that Jesus did not come to save the world, they insinuate and eisegete different races into the text that you can't even prove. You cannot, if you're talking about where people came from, can you draw the line and say, because you keep bringing up white people. You don't know where all white people came from Esau. They got the same dad. So no matter what they look like, we're all brothers and sisters because Esau and Jacob are brothers. Esau and Jacob are twins. They are brothers. Are you going to say Esau is not Jacob's brother? They came from the same dad. So you would have to say these are your only two options, Jacob and Esau. And it's why I don't like to go to these other verses, because they're trying to confuse us and make us talk about those verses they bring up and say, oh, well, you don't want to talk about the Bible? No, because you're not talking about the Bible. You're eisegeting stuff into the text about race. You don't say it verbatim, but you're putting that into the text by the way that you're speaking about these verses. When he says John 3:16, it's in context. He didn't come to save every single person. Okay, let's say that he just came to save the Hebrew people, the world, his people in the world, right? And those are black people. Those are the Israelites. They're whatever we know. They're not white, right? He didn't come to save white people, so white people can't be saved. By that logic, whoever he's coming to save. So how do you define what a white person is? Common sense. Common sense? Why is it a contradiction then? This white person and that white person. Why do you, we just know. We just know. Okay, well, atheists can say, well, we just know God's not real. We just know. I could say that, but don't come to a debate if you don't have facts. If you say something like common sense, don't even come to a debate. You're not ready. So because I want facts behind the stuff you're saying, because I'm a person that is white and black according to, your theology, right? I say it just for conversation, like, yeah, my dad's black, my mom's white. I'm not one that's a stickler that wants to tell people, well, no, I'm not actually black or white. I'm a human being and we're all the same. I'm not going to go that far with it. I'm just saying, keep in mind, these categories are fake, and I'm not gonna lie, the more I look at this stuff, it does bother me, but I'll just end it there. I would love to have a conversation with a Hebrew Israelite just to explain to me the one thing, how Esau and Jacob are, well, there's two things. So either Esau and Jacob, somehow they're not brothers and they came from the same dad. So if you say they are brothers, then that means we're all brothers. If you say that they came from the same dad, but they're not really brothers because of the way that Esau was born, then you kind of have to say that could have been possible down the line of Israel, and that some of those Israelites, well, you have to kind of say those Israelites can't all be brothers either then. If Esau and Jacob came from the same dad and they're not brothers, then that means you definitely can't be brothers to or relative to somebody that came from you. They're either brothers or they're not. Either that brothership is there or it's not. You can't change. You are your brother. How? Just define to me how someone becomes a brother. I don't mean in Christ, like genetically, because that applies to the Bible. How could somebody become a brother? But I need to talk to y'all. Yo, hit me up when this type of conversation happens because it's crazy. But anyways, guys, like the video and also put your comments down below. Subscribe if you're feeling it. Hit the bell notification, get notified every time I go live. God bless you. Merry Christmas.